And welcome back to the Power Accountability League. I'm your pal Dan L. This is my channel, and guess who is bisexual? Cal L. And in celebration of that, let's have a little drink from my Rainbow T-Mobile cup. That's some good gay water. There's no such thing as gay. Well, I don't get it, Dan L. You hate the gay. I don't hate the gay community. I don't hate anyone based off their immutable traits. I do hate the left because they're an existential threat to all life in the universe, but not everyone who's gay or bisexual is on the left. There's plenty of people who are gay or bisexual who are in the center or on the political right. And I told you in another video where we talked about the issues related to the gay community, that the best boss I ever had, one of the best people I ever worked with as a professional, was a gay manager. He was one of the first ones. So anyway, but we're getting off topic because that is not the subject of today's video. Even though the corporate masters who run America, they have recently decided that Kal-El Superman is in fact bisexual. So that's a corporate decision. I'll probably deal with that in a future video. For now, this video is entitled Watch Me Save the World, Greta. Greta Thunberg. Oh, okay, that's right. So I'll say it again. Watch me save the world, Greta. So I'm about to save the world. And it starts with a machine. Take a look at this thing. I bought two of these decades ago. And it's pretty cool. Looks like something from Star Trek The Next Generation. You know, that's the speaker. You pull this little thing out, it sets off an alarm. Can't see it, that little thing. And then you got the volume control. And then you select, this is for it's got an AM FM radio. You can't see it very well in this video. It's got an AM FM radio. Like I said, that's the tuning. That's the volume. Then you pull out the antenna. Look at that. See, isn't this cool? So there's your antenna. And like I said, it's got an alarm, AM FM radio. Got a little over here. You plug in your headphones over there. So it's cool. And of course, it has a flashlight. So it's kind of a cool piece of technology. So let me power it up for you. Let me show you how it works. Give me 1 second here. Sorry, I had to get another drink of water, and here we go. So we're going to pull this out. See this? And then this is the button which turns the flashlight on and off. So let's power it up. It's good. Doesn't use solar power or wind power. It doesn't use fossil fuels. Evil fossil fuels. Doesn't do that. It just uses the energy from my muscles. So right now I'm saving the planet. And by the way, I've told you in previous videos, my carbon footprint is smaller than yours. But not necessarily because I've got some grand scheme to save 8 billion people, mainly because I like living a very simple, moderate lifestyle. Okay, so what you do is you power up the internal battery by using this muscle rotary system. Okay, so there we go. And now we push this button. Okay, well, hold on. That's not. Wait a minute. Let's turn on the radio. Well, let's get the radio going because that thing didn't work. Okay, oh, okay. Did you hear that? That clicking was turning the radio on. Turned up the volume. Now we're adjusting the tuning. Well, at least the alarm system's going to work. Yeah, it doesn't work, does it? I bought two of these. I don't know where the other one is. Like I said, I bought them decades ago. And they worked for about 2 months and they stopped working. Now, right now, you're thinking, well, what does that prove? Well, it proves that there's no such thing as a free lunch, and I've argued that in almost all my videos as well. You can't get something for nothing. Even though recently I was watching one of my favorite shows, How the Universe Works, and one of the physicists said, according to the laws of physics, you can get nothing. You can get something from nothing. I'm thinking, well, somebody has written that law in an incorrect fashion. Anyway, but now you're thinking, well, yeah, sure, on this one it doesn't work, but it'll work on all these anything else that has a rotary mechanical energy generation system. Anyway, so. This one's just a flashlight. Just a flashlight. That's all it is. Let's do this one. Okay, so I don't know how long we're supposed to do these for, but let's do it. We should get at least a few seconds of energy. I mean, We can't do this for like an hour, can we? Because your arm would fall off, wouldn't it? Get a rotator cuff injury if you did this for an hour. All right, so there we did a little bit. So we should get a little bit of energy. There's a button on top there. I'm pushing. Okay, I'm pushing the button, and I'm pushing it again, and I'm keep pushing it, and we're not getting any electricity. Same thing with this one. Same thing with this one. These lasted for about a week. This one and its sister uh, its sister power unit, flashlight, its sister manually powered flashlight lasted for about a couple months and then stopped working. So I'm trying to save the world here, but the engineers and the scientists aren't making it easy for me, are they? They're giving me stuff. Now you might be thinking, well, you've never owned a fuel efficient car. What would you know? Well, and I mentioned this I think in another video. My wife and I, we owned a Toyota Prius for several years, many years actually, and it was a fine car. I mean, we enjoyed it because it was state of the art technology as far as we were concerned. But it had trouble going up steep inclines in the state of Colorado. Literally could not get up a hill. That was a problem. Also, we found out that it had something called an inverter or something like that, and those fail after a few years, and it costs I don't know 6 or 7 thousand to replace those. I think it's called I don't forget if it's called an inverter, but anyway. And the battery you have to replace that every 5 years. That's another 5,000. The point is, the Toyota Prius, which we loved it. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. The car itself was fun, but it wasn't very practical. Well, that's exactly what it is. It's practical, just like a Tesla. Now, as I've said in many videos, this idea that electric cars are better for the environment than internal. By the way, I get it. Internal combustion cars run on fossil fuels. Eventually, you're going to exhaust them. But again, how do we know that we can't create biofuels? Well, we know we can create biofuels, but how do we know that we can't? And by the way, I'm not saying the internal combustion engine is the best idea. I don't have a problem with Toyota Prius or the Teslas or there's any car that runs on a non-traditional power system. That's fine. I've told you in other videos I believe in actual diversity. I like the idea getting energy supplies from natural gas and oil and nuclear, hydroelectric, solar, wind power, biofuel, and there are other fuel sources or other energy sources out there. I believe in diversity. I believe you want to have a backup plan. If you when you run someday we're going to exhaust all the fossil fuels, you want to have back. When you remember the movie Back to the Future, and the DeLorean, it was powered by nuclear energy. Seemed pretty cool to me. Nuclear powered car, not just a nuclear powered car, nuclear powered flying car. I'm all in. Anyone who wants to invent a nuclear and at the end of the movie Back to the Future, how do they power it? They take garbage, and they put because everything's made of atoms. And they take garbage and they stuff it in. It looks like a Mr. Coffee maker on the back of the DeLorean. They take the garbage and they stuff it in the nuclear power cell or whatever in the back of the car, and it converts a banana peel into nuclear energy. It allows you to fly your car for a few thousand miles. So the point is, I'm actually a fan of technology, engineering, solving problems. I love that. But as you just saw, some things work and some things don't work. But most importantly, there's no free lunch. You can't save the world with, I mean, don't get me wrong. And by the way, no one, do it again. Let's keep going. Here we go. We're going to try one more time. We're going to try and give the miracle workers one more chance to work a miracle for us, to show us that all we need is good old-fashioned human muscle. By the way, we have those things. They're called bicycles. You get on, instead of having a car, you get on this thing with two wheels, has a chain and a sprocket, has a couple of pedals on it. You don't have to use gasoline or the wind or solar. Don't have to use any sort of energy other than the energy that comes from your muscles. And of course, your body gets energy from food. So you bet as long as you got plenty of food and you got a bicycle and you've got two legs that can go up and down, you're good to go. But you know what we decided more than 100 years ago? We decided, because we had bicycles, fact, I think the people who invented the airplane, Orville, it's not Orville and Wilbur Wright. See, that's combining those two names. Orville and Wilbur, I think they were bicycle makers or something like that. But the point is, we had camels and we had horses and we had bicycles. And one day, somebody in Germany, I believe, invented the automobile, and the automobile became popular. You know why? Because people would rather get in a car than walk or ride a bicycle. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of people who are bicycle enthusiasts, a lot of people who are walking enthusiasts, but most people, either because it's fun or because it's practical, want to get in a car. And remember, Al Gore wrote a book in the early '90s called Earth in the Balance or something like that. It was all as an anti-automobile screed. The automobile was the cause of all of humanity's problems. Bullshit. The automobile has solved so many of our problems. And I wish and by the way, all we're doing here, believe it or not, this is like the cool high tech. Remember, I said it looks like something from Star Trek Next Generation, but yet it uses muscle energy. So instead of this taking us into the future, all this is really doing is taking us back to the time when the Romans were running parts, a big chunk of the planet. This isn't taking, and like I said, is it a great idea for an emergency? Sure. If you're shipwrecked on shipwrecked, yeah, on an island somewhere, or you're space wrecked on a planet somewhere, and you need some energy, and this thing only worked for 2 months, and then it stopped working. And as I already told you, these things, the same principle, just a little flashlight, worked for about a week, maybe 2 weeks at the most. So my point is, and my wife and I had a Toyota Prius, wasn't very practical. So I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic that we are going to find efficient ways to employ technology. But the problem is all of the pie in the sky fantasy stories you're being fed by Greta Thunberg. And remember, she's mentally defective. Are you calling her yeah, I think I called her a retard. You can't use that word. Well, I just did. So yeah, she's her parents and everyone around. Basically, Greta Thunberg is a one-person example of what you don't want your child to turn out to be. If you have children, if you're intelligent, if you have a little bit of common sense and you believe in logic or you're a fan of logic, you're like, man, I hope my kids don't turn out to be like Greta Thunberg. So anyway, that was pretty much today's video. This is straight to the point, though it might took a while because I had to go through the little comedy routine about Kal-El, and he is bisexual now, according to what DC Comics, which means according to Hollywood, which means according to corporate America. Do you think the guys who created Kal-El would be like, you know what, he's got a lot of super. One of his superpowers will be he's bisexual. Do you think that would have occurred to them? Corporate geniuses everywhere in America. But anyway, today I just wanted you to see firsthand how I could save the world, but it turns out I probably didn't actually save the world. I probably, and if I'm stranded somewhere and I need a flashlight, I didn't even save myself. So I do appreciate you stopping by, and whenever you get a chance, go get yourself a custom T-shirt that says Greta Thunberg isn't smart enough to give anyone advice. Anyway, take care and have a good day. Bye bye.